So what happened, I made my own market. This mostly pertains to getting tree service wood. The wood is all over the place. They're not at 16. So what do? Sell them. So if you get tree service wood, separate it. Sell the good stuff, burn the crap. And welcome back, Fire Addicts, to another episode of Travis Does Firewood. Today we're talking about how you can sell any type of firewood. I'll show you how. So I'm in my woodyard, and the woodyard currently is getting quite full. This part here had my premium maple last fall that I sold. Some of it to my sauna guy, some of it to other people. And I burned something here, but this is the prime location in terms of sun, east-west, and wind. But this is where I'm putting the softwood, this Doug fir wood for bundles and rack wood. So the left side is bundle wood, more or less. Right side is rack wood, and there's some big pieces in here. So, and I go between back and forth of how attractive the wood looks and selling it. And I think not everyone has the same quality standards. What is wood burns, all wood burns, and they sell it. Well, because I sell in small quantities, I want it to appear good, so the customers come back, type thing. As well as within the motto of sell the good stuff, burn the crap. Burn the crap meaning like in your own wood stuff at home. So some of the stuff, by the time it dries, if I don't like how it looks, I will burn it in my own wood stuff, which is totally fine. Which is totally fine. So I've been busy whittling away at this pile of massive chunks. And again, this is tree service wood. I got paid for it, but like I said in another video, it was $20 a load. So I technically did pay for it, but one rack of wood at the firewood stand sold pays for that load, and there's multiple racks of wood 10 times, whatever times over from that load. It's mostly profit. So I'm blessed to have this wood, but the only thing about it is the wood is all over the place. It's all over the place. A lot of this wood I didn't cut into rounds. It came in round form. So like this piece right here, this is at 15. Okay, 15. You see that? Okay, 15 right out there. So when I grade my wood to sell at the firewood stand, I wanted to be at 16. Well, sometimes the cuts don't get there. I get true service wood, etc. So anything at 15 to 17, I'm gonna put at my firewood stand or in stacks at the firewood stand. Anything under that, 14 3/4 less, that's gonna go in the shorties, including this piece right here. This piece right here is at like 10, and this piece right here, that's at 14 something. So I have a whole bunch of wood that are shorties, and I don't want to sell them at the firewood stand because they're not at 16. So what do you do? Well, sell them. Sell them by the tote. Okay, by the tote. So over here, I have one tote. I cut it open real quick, and these are all shorty cuts, and I didn't cut any of this myself. So this piece here is at just under 15, so that's still technically a shorty cut. Other pieces here are at 12, 12, 12, and these came directly from tree service. So, and I found a market for this. So these are now stacked so they can dry, right? And when I go sell them, they'll be hand tossed in a similar size tote back my truck, and I sell this hand toss for 120 bucks. Okay, so there is a market even for the shorties. What I don't want you to do is to get tree service wood that is cut at all over the place from like 24 inches all the way down to 8 inches, and then you split it and you stack it in the back of your trailer, or your hand toss it in the trailer, and you claim it's a cord. Well, there's argument back and forth, but I would advocate you I would urge you to have the wood be consistent. If you're going to sell a cord, sell the whole cord, and each piece is going to be between 8 and 10 inches, or a foot long, or ideally a 16, not all over the place. I don't think that's fair to the customer. Okay, so if you get tree service wood, separate it, because they're all going to be different lengths, unless you know the arborist, unless you know the tree service person, and you maybe pay them a little extra, saying, "Hey, Jimbo, cut me a 16. I'll slip you another 20, 40 bucks," and that may be worth it to them, and definitely worth it for you. Let me show you another example. So because I have so much wood in my yard, I'm running out of space right now. Like, this is all dug fir. This is all dug fir, ready to go drying. The front here is cottonwood that's ready to bundle up and rack up and sell. This right here is a tote of what I'm calling bonfire wood. Now, bonfire wood are rounds or splits, cut pieces that are at like 17 plus. Could be 18 inches, could be 22 inches, could be 24 inches. I got them all in here, all lengths, but they're too long. Now, if I get a round that is at 22 inches, I could cut that in 16. I cut that 16, then I have a cookie, right? But sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. All depends on the mood, or if I'm done cutting, or the chainsaw is dull, or chainsaw is out of gas, or whatever excuse I want to come up with. But I have created a market for these, what I'm calling bonfire wood. Either the wood is long, this is the longer piece here, and or it's going to be knotty. It's going to be all gnarly, just massive pieces of wood that I can't split further, and they're just big pieces. Okay, so what do you do with this? You could definitely take the minute, take the time with a chainsaw, cut it in half, and throw it in like a wood boiler, or let it sit and dry and put it in your own wood stove. Yes, but my point is saving time, not doing the one extra step in using a chainsaw to cut the long round that you got from tree service into a 16 and a cookie. Why not just split it? Why not split it, and then you have a longer piece, and then you sell it as bonfire wood? Now, I say bonfire wood because this wood is big, and if people want a bonfire outside, they can buy the wood at my firewood stand, about 30 pieces for $30, so it's basically $1 a stick, more or less. And they have wood to make a raging bonfire, which is why I call it bonfire wood. So I'm making money. I found a market. I'm making money on wood that I can easily just split up and stack and let dry. Now they're stationed here because I get a lot of sun. There's no shade right here, so in prime location to dry as fast as possible. And I have one more tote that I'm stacking for bonfire wood here. So I have multiple locations now of the bonfire wood, but I want to make sure that I do have enough wood at 16. So some of the rounds, if straight grained, I may take a second, whip out the chainsaw, cut it down 16, and then I use that wood to split to make bundle wood or rack wood, or depending on where I'm at in volume, I'll just make more bonfire wood. So there's a market for that too. So I have covered tree service wood. So I guess this mostly pertains to getting tree service wood, and a lot of us do it, but a lot of us are against it because then you have to handle all the crap. But I think I mentioned before on the channel, I appreciate the challenge of the tree service wood. It's gnarly, it's huge, massive chunks, hard to move around, hard to deal with, but it's the challenge of taking something that is garbage or tossed away, no one wants it, and turning it into money. But this example here behind me is an example of heat. So a lot of pieces here, they're shorties, they're gnarly, and the shorter pieces, the ones that are at a foot or 8 inches or whatever, I want to make sure that those look good too. Okay, it's a matter of definition of quality. So, because I sell in small quantities, again, I want to make sure that it appears of good quality and value to the customer, so they come back. Again, this stuff here is duller pieces, gnarly, knotted, ugly pieces, too short. There's no such thing as too short. If they're at like 5 inches or whatever, I don't feel right selling that. So it goes in this bin. This bin here is the toss outs, these can be burned in my wood stove probably in the fall. Whether this is going to be dry enough, hard to tell, but anything that is worth saving, I burn in my own wood stove. So because I burn in my own wood stove, whatever I don't feel deemed the quality, size wise, whatever a qualification, I toss it aside and I put it aside and I sage it for burning it in my own wood stove, which goes with the motto of sell the good stuff, burn the crap. So I don't want to burn good stuff that wood that I could sell. That doesn't make any sense to me. And as someone who does firewood, I think that you all who are in that category, that would make sense. So in right here, I have this entire corner section of wood that is shorties, gnarlies, cookies, whatever you want to say, deemed unsellable. And this is my massive cube right here. It goes back further there. That is going to be burned in the fall. In the fall, in my own in my own wood stove. Okay, this is another section here of shorties that are drying that I filled up, so I had too much, and I had to find a new location. So a market, you have to find a market. Whatever you get from free service, there's a way to sell it, and I have more examples. But this right here, these are shorties. This whole wall right here is maple. Okay, and I got a lot of shorty cuts from tree services of maple, and I could definitely burn all this in my own wood stove. It's not bad looking. It's all quality because it's maple. But my sauna guy is gonna love this stuff because he has a whole mini stove for his sauna. He can definitely put this in a small little stove and burn that for a sauna. And so this is worth splitting. This is worth accepting. This is worth taking the time to stack, to dry, because I can make a premium on this wood. Taking something you got for nothing and selling it and making that money. That is the whole name of the game here, folks. The whole name of the game. So I am running out of space right now in my Woodyard and trying to figure out how to navigate that. And I have some ideas. I'm running out of ICB totes here. I'm trying on the market to find one, but I think I have a solution for that. So stay tuned for that solution. For example, this massive chunk. This is like the base of this fir tree, and it is gnarly, and it won't split because it's growing. It did this whole like diagonal thing. It's huge, definitely heavy, but this stuff here, because it's so it's not long widthwise. This is gonna go in my own. This is gonna go over there in the tote to be burned in my own wood stove, and it's gonna be great wood because this is dense. This is at the very bottom of the tree. This is dense. Even though it's a softwood, even though it's Douglas fir, it's gonna be great burning wood, and I don't mind taking the time to carry armfuls of chunks of wood versus 16 inches. It is what it is. I guess it's all a preference. I'm just saying that there's a market for it. I mean, if I had a wood boiler here, or a person with a big giant wood boiler, I could definitely sell them these big chunks, and they would be grateful for that. I think my last example here I'm going to share it with you is because this fir bark. Check out this fir bark. Check this out. This is literally like almost like 2 inches thick from the wood outside. Some thick freaking bark here, to the point where like I don't want to. I'm tending to split it off with the 1165V, trying to split off some of the big thick bark. Well, what do you do with all that bark? Well, some of this bark, as you see here, for example, right here, right, the little sliver of wood on it, little sliver of wood, and now this could dry out. In theory, this could burn. Okay, an example here, thick bark, a little sliver of wood. So I did this before. I shared it on my channel, I believe, where I took cottonwood bark. It had a little sliver on it sometimes, and I stacked it, and I tried to sell that by the tote. And that kind of worked out. I didn't sell it as firewood, but if I have enough of this bark, I'll try to sell it, or I'll give it away for free, but charge a fee to deliver it, if that makes any sense. So even the waste here, I would count this as waste. Yes, I could I could put this in the back of my yard and stack it and season it, and then burn this as firewood. But I already have a bunch of shorter, ugly, gnarly pieces that I can burn in my own wood stove versus this bark. So this is, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that? Selling bark like this. This is a byproduct, and I have a lot of it, or I will have a lot of it, and I don't know what to do with it besides giving away for free and charging a fee to deliver it. So it's worth my time to put in a tote, etc. So I have these various piles, and again, all different lengths, different sizes, type thing. Look at that bark, this massively thick bark. And now it's a matter, now that it's on the ground, it's a matter of having to load up wheelbarrows based on the length of it, based on the size, and then putting it in the woodyard stacked accordingly. So the point of the episode is, when you get tree service wood, it's worth first of all, it's worth taking it. It's worth accepting it, right? And two, my opinion is, it's worth the time to separate it into potentially by species and or by length, and separating it and have it dry in different sections and selling it accordingly. Whether it's gnarly chunks where it's bonfire wood, regular 16 inchers, or smaller, really crappy chunks that you don't feel comfortable selling, and that's still worth it because you could burn it in your own woodyard. So I hope that all made sense. I think, maybe not perfected, but I've done very well with taking in, saying yes to tree service wood, saying yes to any type of wood I can get my hands on, and then processing it and selling it, finding a market and selling it as what type of wood. Now, granted, the quality of wood, the amount of the quality and the quantity of the wood varies how much money you can get for it. Now, whether it's worth for me selling bark, I don't think that's worth it, versus selling the shorter splits or cookies. I think that's worth the money, especially the bonfire wood. That does sell. That does sell. I may be sitting on it for a while, but it does sell. It may take longer to season, to dry, but it does sell. And when I have the real estate to more or less store it, to stack it and season it, then it's worth it. Now, you may not all of you be firewood sellers. Maybe you're thinking about it, or you take in tree service wood and you use the wood for your own purposes, and you're kind of hemming and hawing, well, maybe I should buy logs. Well, if you have the means, by all means, buy logs. Buy logs, and then you can cut them at 16 or at whatever length that you want to. Do that. But I think that there's this negative aura, maybe not connotation, but thought process, opinion of tree service wood, because you're getting crappy wood, you're getting odd sizes. Well, if that's how you want to roll, you want to take in cheap or free tree service, cheap or free tree service wood, make the best of it. Make the best of it and sell it or burn it or whatever when you do. But I think a lot of you, in terms of if you want to sell firewood, or if you do or want to, you have to do your own market research of what is selling in your area. Well, I have done that, but only for maybe the 16 inchers and cords versus smaller quantities, maybe like bundles. But I haven't. But there was no research available of cookies, shorter splits, bark, any bonfire wood. No one else is there. You can't do research on that because no one else is selling it, at least in my area. So what happened? I made my own market. Okay, put advertising on social media, on marketplace, offer up Craigslist, put the logo up at the firewood stand. You can make your own markets, and I've done that with this wood. Okay, now I have done a lot of work off camera here in the woodyard trying to get this all processed, working hard, and it's slow process because I'm having to chunk up this wood, and I don't have a big machine to help me chunk it up. But I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that it's all manual labor, which I think is good for the mind and the body. So this is going to take some time, but I just wanted to share with you real quick, pardon the rambling and the rant, but don't not take tree service wood because it's going to be all over the place. You can work out with the arborists, give them maybe some more money, have them maybe to cut it up at 16 for you if that is an issue, or just take whatever you can get, and then from there take the time to process it and separate it. Do your market research or make your own market and sell the wood accordingly. Worst case scenario, you just burn it all in your own wood stove. And I know there's some of you that you sell firewood, but you don't burn it for your own purposes, which is totally fine. But there is a market for anything. On my channel, I have sold wood that was punky. On my channel, I have sold wood that was dirty. It was priced accordingly, and the customers knew what they were getting. But what we're trying to say is there's a market for everything. Okay, market for everything, and you just gotta find that market and or make your own market. Anyway, mountain of piled, mountain of massive chunks. You've seen where I have used my chainsaw and I have made the cuts in here, and then I'll use a metal wedge and a sledgehammer and I'll chunk those up. Okay, that's what those are. Because I don't noodle all the way through. I just don't. If you want to see that on my channel, let me know. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Remember, life's too short to be a prick, so be kind to one another. Rock and roll. Stay safe, keep cutting. Cheers.